Hello YouTube, it's your girl DJ Queen Elevator Crazy, and today I'm gonna come at you guys with a very useful video. And it's not a bad video. It's something you elevator enthusiasts may need to know, especially for the beginner elevator enthusiasts. This is something that all beginners need to work on, because I came across some videos where people are doing stuff that's kind of unacceptable or kind of annoying. I've noticed some elevator enthusiasts that aren't beginners do one of these things, which is move the camera so quickly and abruptly that it hurts people's eyes, because if you move it so abruptly and the light in the elevator comes into shot, it can be a bit blinding if you move the camera so quick. But I'll show you a little trick on how to use your camera. And also, for those of you that like to do this, don't do that, okay? That actually can bother some people. Don't actually do that. That can bother people. That actually bothers me, because there is one user, I'm not gonna mention who they are, that does that occasionally when they're on an elevator. I get, trying to keep your face from showing, but there is ways how you can edit that out and blur it. If the button panel or some sort of surface is reflective, all you gotta do is use blurring filters, and it'll blur out your face. So don't just do this, use filters, okay? Now, let me move some boxes so I can actually show you what is best. Okay, I'm gonna actually do, oh no, come off of that. Alright, so I'm gonna actually take something over to where I normally sit when I do my videos and live streams. But if you're trying to pan a panel or something, do this. Not, because that can really bother people, because if there's important information like the capacity, somebody's going to want to see that. Name brand, somebody's going to want to see that. But if you do it like this, nobody can read that quick. Nobody can read that quick. If they want to see the floors, doing this, that's not going to help matters. But always make sure you pan down slowly, so that way you don't miss any important information. My button panel is dirty. Now, when you're doing a cab view, again, with the camera movements, it's still got to be slow, like I showed you with the button panel there. It's got to be slow, because what if somebody wants to appreciate the cab? If it's a really nice cab, somebody's going to want to see a really beautiful cab. And if you're just showing the ceiling and the floor, that's not going to help. That's not going to help you. That's not really a cab view if you're just showing only the floor and the ceiling. You gotta show everything, including the doors, the walls, the button panel, yeah. Now, when you're trying to show the floor indicator, don't do this, because you want to follow the light as the numbers and stuff light up. You want to follow that, so that way your fans can see what floor you're on and all that. Also, when you want to capture the elevator motor, don't talk over it, because then the camera, the mic 2, whatever device you're using, will not be able to catch the motor very well. So you gotta keep quiet until the elevator is at full stop. And also, if it's a very old elevator and it does classic leveling, you might want to show that, because that is a really unique thing that it does. Now, I'm going to go over some safety tips. When you're waiting for the elevator, I noticed some elevator enthusiasts do this. You don't stand. I'm going to pretend my room door is an elevator door. You don't stand directly in front of the elevator like this. Because what if somebody comes out of the elevator and they'll come at you? It's always best that you stand off to the side. Whatever side the button is on, the outdoor button would be on, you stand to that side. So that way you don't stand right in front of the elevator and all that. Most of my videos I stand off to the side because I don't want to be trampled. So always stand to the side, because you never know if somebody's coming out of the elevator. Unless it's a glass elevator, then you'll know. But still, always stand to the side, no matter what elevator. Regardless of what elevator it is, glass or internal, scenic or internal, always stand to the side. Never stand in front, because that is kind of a safety problem. Now, if you get stuck in an elevator, don't ever try to pry the doors open. Don't bang on the doors, okay? There is emergency phone and emergency alarm for a reason. And that is for the sole purpose of when you're stuck in an elevator. It's not a toy. Don't ever ring it, okay? Don't ever ring it. When you're just solely going up and down the elevator for the video, don't ring it unless you're stuck. Because also, if you ring it, some alarms are literally attached to the emergency phone. So if you ring it, the emergency phone will go off. And honestly, if you do see that there's a scam happening on the emergency phone, don't say a word, just ignore, because you don't want to risk giving off any information of the building or anything to someone that might scam. So just let the scammer talk to themselves, pretty much. Because, again, you don't want to give off information to a scammer. Because if you just ignore them, they'll realize that they may have gotten the wrong number. Or whatever, and then they'll never call that number again. Another thing is, if you're recording an elevator, don't play with it, okay? There's been some users that would just press the button and then run off. It's not a toy, ladies and gentlemen, not a toy. again, I've learned how to do the camera stuff through watching Diesel Daisy's channel. Because of how slow he pans the elevator, I find that much better than zooming the camera around. Again, those of you who like to cover the camera, don't do that, okay? Because that can bother your fans. That can actually give them some serious OCD, or it can annoy the crap out of them. If you're trying to keep from showing your face, then find a filter that'll blur out your face during the video while editing it. The people that do that, you guys know how to edit, so use your editing skills to avoid covering your camera like that. I know I struggle a little bit with the indicator and stuff. That's the sole purpose of my limited vision. I can't aim the camera directly at the indicator properly because I can't see as well. Also, if you're gonna start a video, don't start inside the elevator, or don't start way too far away from the elevator. If you're gonna start right next to the elevator, because then you're not like trying to get to an elevator. And also, if you do end up starting way far away from the elevator, if you're gonna be walking, walk like this, with the camera like this, or just like down low like this, so they don't have any suspicion that you're recording. If it's a building that you have a feeling that they don't like recording, not this, because it can get very annoying. Sorry about the mess. It can get very annoying, and it'll bother people. Oh my God, Alex. It'll bother people if you do that. It'll bother people if you do that, because that can get very annoying. Let's see. Never jump in an elevator. Never, ever, because that part I can't really explain very well. But it's not healthy for the elevator. If it's a hydraulic, it could break the hydraulic pump. If it's a traction, it could possibly snap the cables if the cables aren't strong enough to handle that. It can offset the elevator pretty much. It could really bust. It could really do some damage, significant damage to the elevator. That's why you don't ever do that. Another thing is, if you see somebody that's got like a white cane or a regular cane, walker, crutches, wheelchair, let them go first. Unless, of course, if you are in a wheelchair, then that's a different story. Or if you have the white cane. Me and somebody else in the elevator community have that. I have two of them, but I like to use one particular one the most. But as you've seen in some of my earlier videos, I use a white cane. I've kind of showed it off a little bit on camera because I couldn't really help that because I was using an iPad to record originally. Now I use an iPhone, but I don't use my cane in my local area because I know my local area just fine. But if it's like darkness, I will prefer to use my cane in the dark because I can't see that well in the dark. But because I have well enough vision in one of my eyes. I can actually see well enough to get around in the day. But yeah. But yeah, like I said, if you see someone with those items, let them go first. Or stroller, because they have a baby. Let those people go first. If you're in a hospital, be aware that you may be told no to recording elevators because, important information could be leaked in the video for the patient, and that will not be a good thing because that's private information that they may not want on camera. So try your best, guys, to not even bother to record in a hospital or a doctor's office if need be. If your doctor's okay with you recording the elevator in their doctor's office, okay. But if you're just randomly going into doctor's offices, don't go in and record their elevators just so randomly, because they may catch you and they can jump on your case for it. Worst case scenario, they could have the police come harass you about it. We already know who has been harassed by Roanoke police a long time ago because an employee did something so sinister and got fired for their thing that they shouldn't have done, which was contact the police on somebody that was just being innocent and recording an elevator. But also, just like, if you come across music, use royalty-free music to override that music, and then you'll be good. Because if you're recording an elevator and there's copyrighted music playing, you could most likely have that elevator video taken down by YouTube. Or if you're over 1K, you'll lose your ad revenue, because then the artist gets to take that money, because that's their music. So just use royalty-free music to override the music. And if the elevator has elevator music playing, I would check if the person that gave you permission to record the elevator, check with that person and see if that music is copyrighted or not, because they may know. If they don't know, then just try not to record the elevator in general, because I'm pretty sure the fans wouldn't want to hear all kinds of different craziness going on with music. Also, if you're recording an elevator and you get stuck, if you got a younger audience, try not to curse. And if you end up cursing, censor it. Don't let it slide, because you gotta be considerate. I'm sorry, but you have to be considerate if you have a younger audience that watches you. You can't just keep your elevator videos from younger audience. It's kind of rude, because there's younger people in the elevator community as well who like elevators. And if you don't want to share your content with everybody, then what's the point in you being on YouTube? Yes, I make my videos not made for kids, but this is only because I don't want my comments turned off, and I don't age restrict my videos. But yeah. And also, pro tip, if you end up in an elevator with somebody else, try not to show their face without their consent. If they say, okay, you can show my face, that's a different story. But if the person hasn't given you permission to show their face, then don't show their face, okay? If you show it by accident, then you should censor it out, blur it out. Just like if you're trying to keep from showing your own face, blur it out. Don't cover the camera. Don't be annoying with that. And yeah, I hope you guys learned something from this video. Make sure you subscribe. Don't forget to hit that post notification bell so you don't miss any videos, live streams, or future premieres from this channel. With that being said, bye! Elevators and Diesel Doocy are awesome.